Hi. In this second video, we're going to actually start using Solver and try to figure out what's going on. So, we have this thing set up. Now we need to put our formulas into the mix. And what we're looking for is to have our calories be less than or equal to 2,000. Our protein greater than or equal to 50 grams. Our carbohydrates greater than or equal to 275 grams. Fats greater than or equal to 78 grams. Dietary fiber greater than or equal to 28 grams. And sodium less than or equal to 2,300 milligrams. According to the FDA, these are the constraints you should have on a 2,000 calorie diet. Now, I understand there are differences between children and adults, men and women, but based on a 2,000 calorie diet, these are the suggested constraints that they have for these 5 areas of nutrition. So what do? Well, we need to figure out how the numbers of each of our items, our entrees, sides, and drinks, how much when we use each one of those versus calories, proteins, carbs, fats, etc. We'll calculate into calories, proteins, carbs, fats. So whenever we eat, say, one entree A, that's a sausage, egg, and croissant sandwich, okay, and cheese croissant sandwich, we will consume 550 calories, 22 grams of protein, etc., all the way down. If we eat half of one, then we'll eat half of 550 calories, half of 22 grams of protein, and so on. 0.67 or 2.98, any of those things, we will have percentages of those numbers right there. So we do that by putting a formula into these. We leave these empty for the moment. Solver is going to put numbers in there. But we are going to put formulas in these 6 cells over here. And we start with this one for calories. You do it with the equal sign and then SUM. And when you do that, one of the options is sum product. And that's the one that you want to do. So double click on that, it asks you for an array. An array is a line of cells that you're going to multiply against another line of cells. So this array will be multiplied against this array for this cell here. But for the calories one, it's going to multiply up against all of those. Now, this cell here is hidden by the formula. That's okay, not a problem. So we first highlight the first array, and that first array is going to be the one that we always use. That's the number of each of those different items that we are potentially going to consume. And you just highlight all of that, and it comes up as B6 to G6 in mine. Yours may be slightly different depending upon how you set yours up, but that's what mine does. Then click on a comma and then highlight the number of calories for each of those. Notice I've had to go behind this formula here, but it goes B7 to G7 because it's line 7. So it's B, B, G, G, and it's 6 and 7. And that's fine. Hit end parentheses, but don't hit enter yet. Now, we need to make these B6 to G6, we need to make that absolute. In other words, that will always be the first thing that we multiply against the second thing. And so I have highlighted the B6 to G6, then I hit the F4 or function 4 button on my keyboard. If you don't have that, you'll need to put a $sign before B and before 6 and before G and before 6. Don't put it on the B7 to G7. We don't want to keep those. We just want to keep them for this one cell. But when we copy down now to each of these cells here, we're going to be copying B6 to G6 versus B10 to G10 and B11 to G11 and etc. down there. But we will always have B6 to G6 up here at the top. So then hit enter at this point. Now we can just copy this cell and paste it down here. And you'll notice we have, if you look up here, B6 to G6 times B10 to G10. B6 to G6 times B11 to G11. And you can check it for each of yours. And that's exactly what happens. So yay, we are in good shape. Now, you will want to save this. This is, and then maybe make a, just put 1 out there. Okay, this is your first try on it. But now we are set up to actually use Solver. So click on Data and click on Solver. And again, if you have not gotten Data Analysis and Solver for your Excel, there's a video on how to get those add-ons there. So we click on this. Now, we want to set our objective. That's our objective right there. Okay? That is our objective right there. That is to reduce it to below the 2000. Now, we change the variable cells. That's going to be what's changed, the amount of each item. We want to minimize, we don't want to maximize calories, we want to minimize calories out there. Now, I have already set the constraints in for you to take a look, but here's what it would be like. So if we clicked on Add, and we had cell reference, then here's what you do. You've got cell reference, and you choose this cell reference. You don't need to choose this one again. We already put that one in there. So we choose this cell reference. It needs to be greater than or equal to, and it immediately goes over to constraint, and you click on that constraint. Okay? So for the first 4 of these constraints, we have to change it over to greater than or equal to. So you do this with each one of those. Then you would click Add to add the next one, and then Add to add the next one. Okay, that way you don't have to keep going back and forth to add and add and add. Okay, I'm going to cancel this because I've already got those in there. So you can see I've got the greater than on the 10, the 11, the 12, the 13, and H14 out there is greater than J14, is less than J14. So these first are greater thans and the last one is less than. Make sure that you put, you click the box, make unconstrained variables non-negative, because you don't want to be telling yourself you're going to drink a negative 2 cartons of fat-free milk. So it's got to be 0 or positive numbers. And then we want the simplex LP. You don't need the others. Simplex LP. Now we are set up. We have our objective. We're going to minimize that objective. We're going to change these variable cells up here, and these are the constraints here that we're going to work with. Then you just click on Solve. Ba-dunk-dunk-dunk. And it says it found a solution. Okay? So I want you to take a look at it and see, did it find an actual solution? Well, in its solution here, it has me eating almost 9 small orders of French fries, almost a half of onion rings, drinking fat-free milk, 1.5 fat-free milks, and that's what I have for the day. But notice it minimized the calories as much as possible, but I did not minimize it below 2000. Okay, so while it's got a solution in here, I'm going to need to try to fix this. We have 50 grams of protein. We have more than 275 grams of carbohydrates, more than 78 grams of fat. We have 28 grams of fiber and 2,300 milligrams of sodium. So we've met everything here except we did not get our calories. So I'm going to go ahead and keep that. But I need to make some changes because we need to try to solve this part right up here. And the way we make changes to do those solutions is we have to change some or all of these items down here. So I'm going to click on that and get myself a second try. So number one try, I'm going to copy all of this right here. So I'm going to copy it and then I'm going to paste it right there. And let me see if I can open these up a little bit more so we can see what's going on. Okay, so I need to make some changes. And what I'm going to have to do is make changes in some of the items. So what do I see as my biggest problems? Well, the sausage, egg, and cheese croissant here has got a lot of sodium. And we'll notice that neither the bacon cheeseburger nor the croissant, we didn't eat any of those. There's way too much sodium in there. So let me go back, okay, and let me see if there's something else I can eat from Burger King. I'll go back to the first of Burger King. And let me see here, before I had anything else in there, are there other things I need to change? Well, I'm not really worried about my root beer, and my milk seems to be useful out there. What else might I be able to eat that would be decent? So I'll come over here. Well, there's a Whopper. How about a Whopper Junior instead of my croissant there. So let's pull this over so I can see my numbers. Okay, so now go back over here. This is a Whopper Junior. Copy that. And change there. So I'm changing to a Whopper Junior. Now, you do not have to change like that if you don't want to, but this helps you to be able to see, if you wanted to do that, to see which things you had changed. So I'm down to 330 calories there. And I've got protein is 15. And carbohydrates is 30. And fats is 19. And dietary fiber is 2. So I add a little bit of dietary fiber. And my sodium is 560. Excellent. Okay, so I've reduced bad things and I've kept or improved some good things. What else might I be able to find over here? So I looked and found Whopper Junior. How about a vanilla shake? Might a vanilla shake? Yeah, we'll take a look. What's a vanilla shake look like? Okay, so, oh, look at that. 400 milligrams of sodium. No. I already got Whoppers, so I'm not going to worry about that. Let's see here. Okay, so Sprite's simply orange juice. What's the orange juice like? Orange juice has got no fiber to it. It's got sugars, carbs, no sodium. How's that compared to my milk? I've got no fats, and 37 carbs. So I'm more on the carbs. There's there's 2 protein to it. So while it doesn't have as much protein, that might be interesting. Let's try this. Simply orange juice. Copy. We are going to, instead of the milk now, we're going to put in orange juice. And I'm going to tell myself I changed that too. Okay. So what are my numbers with this? So here we have a little more calories, 160 calories. Protein's only 2. Carbs are 37. And I'm not gonna worry about these numbers up here. Let me hit the zeros on that for just a moment, okay? Because otherwise it's changing these things over here because we're assuming these numbers are good. Those numbers are not good. Fats are 0. Fiber is 0. They didn't put any pulp in that orange juice, and sodium is 0. So you can drink a fair amount of that and get carbs and protein and calories without adding anything to your sodium that you're trying to get down. Okay, let me change and go back here and let me see. I think a salad might be good for, oh man, look at that. No salads? No salads? How can they have no salads? That just, come on, let's go back. We'll go to number 1 again. How can you have no salads at one of these restaurants? So number 2, what do I got? I already had the fries part up there. I'm looking for something that's maybe a little less. What's the big fish like? Instead of the bacon cheeseburger, I get a little more calories. It's got a little more fat. Oh, look, its sodium is just way out of there. No, we're not going to do that. Not going to do that. Don't need no cheesy stuff. What's a chicken junior look like? Sodium's less, fats more, protein 13 versus, I'm looking versus my bacon cheeseburger, but at least I have cut my sodiums down. So let's do that. We'll do a chicken junior sandwich. Okay. Instead of the bacon cheeseburger. And let's get our numbers going. Okay. What do we got here? We've got 440 calories, so that didn't help us on calories, but to that we add 13 grams of protein, a little less there. We have a little more carbs. Our fats go up a little bit more. Our fiber goes up too, and our sodium comes down a little bit. Okay, all that's good. All that's good. Now I still got to see if I can find myself a better side than what I've had up to this point. So go to number 3. Chocolates, churro fries, none of those is ringing my bell as something better. Okay, Diet Cokes, Diets, Double Whoppers, I don't think that's going to help out. Okay, eggs, Fantas, chicken fries, still not doing anything there. Not doing anything there. Frozen Cokes, good as drinks, but not as sides. Pink lemonade, same thing. Hash browns, I don't think that's going to help me versus What in the world is a half-C? I do not know. Let me see. What is a half-C? Oh, that's it. Okay, that's not going to help me. That is not going to help me because it just combines two things that have higher sodiums out there. Okay, Sundays, mustard, Impossible Whopper. I've already changed both of my entrees. Mellow Yellows, Minute Maid lemonades, coffees, applesauce. There we go. There's the side. Okay, we're going to change, copy. We're going to change our French fries into applesauce. Well, not literally change them, but we're going to change our values here. And let's see what our numbers come out like. Okay, we now have, oh man. Pull this back in a little bit. Okay, so only 50 calories, protein 0, carbohydrates 13, fats are going to be 0, fiber is going to be 1, and then sodium is going to be 0. Awesome. Okay, let's just leave it with that at the moment, okay? Let's just see what it's like here. So let's go ahead and save this again. Ding 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 ding. Okay. Go back to data, and now for solver, because we've got to a new worksheet, we've got to put everything new in there again. So we're going to solve here, but it's, hold on. We need to close this and verify what's going to happen. Okay, so I've got the B6 and the B7. I need to make sure that it's not trying to pull from the other one. So nope, looks like it's fine. Looks like it is fine. All my formulas are fine. Okay, so we are looking at trying to solve that cell, minimize, changing these cells here, and then you're going to see how I do on the adds here. Add this cell greater than this cell, 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 and add this cell less than, leave it as less than, this cell. And then you can click OK. We are at unconstrained, and we need to make this simplex. Okay, we've got it all in there. Let's see what this one comes up with. Boom, boom, it says it's got a solution. Let's see how good that solution is. Let me make this, okay, we'll keep that. We'll make this a little larger so we can see it easier. Whoa, look at, okay, so we've dropped almost 600 calories here. It's still not perfect, but it's almost 600 calories. What do we have to eat here? Well, we eat a little over 2 1/4 Whopper Juniors, almost a full Chicken Junior, almost 19 applesauces, still eat an onion ring almost, and then we don't drink either of our drinks over here because they didn't do anything to it. We have met this, we met this, we met this, we met this, and we met this. So we are still having a problem, but we're closer, okay? And so I would do a third try here. So we'll click on this and make this a third try. So we will highlight all those cells, copy them, put them over here, and drink. Make this bigger. Okay, we need to get rid of those numbers up there. Okay, so we're in better shape. I need to make this just a little smaller. Okay. Got to be able to see everything. Okay, I'm going to kill out that extra line so I don't have to go any further. Okay, now I need to change something else. What do I need to change? What do I need to change? I need to reduce calories. Where I got more calories? I got more calories with onion rings. I got more calories with my root beer. And I've pretty much got my calories down on the Whopper Jr. and the Chicken Jr. So can I do something with my onion rings and with my Barq's root beer? So I'm going to make these all back black on this one. Okay. Let's see where we're going. Let us see where we're going. What else can we do? So maybe a different side and maybe a different drink over here. Because really, orange juice doesn't help or hurt us. Let's just see where we go. So, okay. So the applesauce, we got rid of we're keeping the applesauce. We're getting rid of some other stuff. What else is possible here? Not on the onion rings, we already had that. Pancake platter doesn't sound like, pancake platter sounds like some protein, but a lot of sodium. Bypass that. Plain iced coffee small. Does it add anything to it? It's 150 calories. Got fat, sodium, carbs, and a little protein. How does that stack up? It's got less sodium than the root beer, and it adds some other stuff in here. Okay, we'll try that. We will try a plain iced coffee small. Don't need the second small on there. Okay. So what's my change to this one? Okay. So now it's 150 calories. We've dropped our calories. That's good. Protein is now 1 because it's, I guess, got some milk in it. Carbs are now 21. Fats got 8. And fiber has got 0. And sodium is now 30. Okay. What else can we potentially use? What else? Not Powerade. We're looking for another potential side here. If there's anything. Crispy chicken. We already got the orange juice. Tried that. Soft serve cup. That's not really a side. But I might allow that. Let's see here. What does it do? Soft serve cup versus just a little bit less in terms of calories. It's got a little more protein. It's got one more carb. It's got almost half the fat, and fiber's none, and sodium is half. Okay, let us try it. Let's suppose your kid said, Dad, can I have, instead of onion rings, a cup of ice cream? Okay, because I'm a liberal dad. Okay, here we go. So this is 180. Protein is 4. Carbs is 28. Fats is 5. Fiber is 0. And sodium is 150. Okay. Save it. Go back to data and to solver. And again, we've got to put all of these in there. We're solving this one. We are minimizing it by changing that right there. We are doing this constraint greater than this constraint, add this constraint greater than this constraint, add this constraint greater than this constraint, add this constraint greater than this constraint, and add this constraint less than, we're keeping it less than, this constraint. Okay, now you'll notice because I changed the width of here, it shows those things. Don't worry about that. I'll widen them up here in just a little bit so you can see the 2000 and 2300. But those numbers are still in there. Okay. Non-negative, change to simplex, and then click on solve. And again, it tells us that we solved. Why is it saying that? It is saying that because it meets these constraints down here, but did we meet this constraint up here? And again, we did not. See, our numbers were the same here. We still did not get below 2,000 calories. And what has it asked us to eat? So now we are eating 4 Whopper Juniors, no more Chicken Juniors, almost 20 applesauces, and then nothing else. In 2, it allowed us to eat Chicken Juniors, so we had less Whopper Juniors, but we have added 1 more applesauce. We got rid of the good that the onion rings did, and we don't have any ice cream, orange juice, or coffee because it's just saying no. So we still are good on protein, we are good on carbs, we are good on fats, we are good on dietary fiber, and just barely under 2,300 on our sodium. Okay, but we still did not meet our calories. So here's what I would do. This is the 3rd time, and I would say, sorry, I did a failure. I met all these constraints here, but I did not meet my total calories. And that's when I would write in here, blah, 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 okay? And I would have the explanation. The problem that I had for each one of these, I was able to come up where I met the basic constraints for protein, carbs, fats, fiber, and sodium. But I couldn't get it down below calories. Sodium is typically one of the more difficult ones, and you may find the same thing, one of the more difficult ones to deal with. But in our situation here, we were unable to fix it. Just couldn't happen. And so I would write that out in about 7,500 words and be able to explain the problems I had, the choices I made, the changes I made to the situation. I leave all 3 of these tries here in my Excel file, and then I just hit save and I load that up. And that's what you do, folks. And it's the same thing for Google Sheets. I'll just show in another video about the basic solving of Google Sheets. Take care.